for being with us today. This session is about the resources that Good Things Foundation has to support essential digital skills learning and qualifications. The session is being recorded. If you want to have your camera on or off, that's fine. We will be sharing the slides and all the resources and the links to the resources that we're talking about later on today in an email to you. If you want to ask questions as we go along, myself and Matthew will be monitoring the chat panel, so please do ask questions in the chat panel as we go, and hopefully there'll be quite a few points in the session where we can unmute and have a discussion about things as well, because we want it to be quite an interactive session today and hear from yourselves as well. I'm Laura Faulkner. I'm the Curriculum Development Manager at Good Things Foundation, and we have Matthew. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, yes, I'm the learning designer as well, in the same team as Laura in the learning team. So nice to meet you all.
So this session is part of the webinar series we have about essential digital skills and the learning that we do as centres towards that and towards the qualifications that are coming online, as we know at the moment. The aims for today, we aim to introduce the resources that we have for essential digital skills learning. We'd like to share your ideas and experiences about best practice in supporting learners, and we want to look at exactly how you could use our resources to prepare for the qualifications for essential digital skills. We tend in our good practice advice to say that we like to share visual session plans. So we have here the fact that we've got some discussion-based things as well as some sharing of information with you as we go through the session. So that's the plan today. We're going to share the resources, discuss some best practice, and look specifically at the qualifications and preparing for those. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the aims for today so far? Let's have a little quick look at the chat panel. Okay. So we're going to start with a bit of an icebreaker and a bit of a session here. So I'm going to ask you a bit of a random question. Do you think that cat is going upstairs or downstairs? So in the chat panel, is your instinct that that's up or downstairs with that cat? Both, upstairs, up. You can see people coming in the chat panel, down, up, down, up, down, both.
Looks like it's going up to me, but I can't even tell.
I think there's quite a 50-50 split here with people saying up and down.
Yeah.
In the chat panel. So the next question would be, how do you know what has made you decide that it's going up or down? Is there any clues or hints that you, shadows, the risers, state of mind, down to perception, the head is up, it could be either. Yeah, so it is about interpretation, isn't it? What do you just naturally see? How does your brain just work and interpret these things? Do you pay attention to things like the shadow or the position of the cat or the poise of it, like somebody said there about the head? Or is it a state of mind, like you might see it differently one day compared to another day? This is another similar question, and you might have seen this before with the spinning dancer. So looking at that, do you think that she is spinning clockwise or anti-clockwise? So anti-clockwise is the first answer coming in from Geraldine, and then straight away we've got clockwise from Ishrat. Loads of people then coming and saying clockwise. What do you think about that one, Matt? Do you think that's clockwise or anti-clockwise?
I'm thinking anti-clockwise, but then it looks sometimes it's clockwise. So
Geraldine has said she's changed her mind to clockwise, and then it changes.
Yes.
Anti-clockwise or clockwise. I find it very, very hard to not see that person going clockwise, and I find it very difficult to see it going anti-clockwise. I think sometimes if you look away, and look back, it does change.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is actually going both ways depending on how your brain perceives it, of the position of the legs and things. And as I say, I really find it difficult not to see clockwise, but clearly a lot of people do see anti-clockwise. And the point to this sort of exercise really is to sort of think about the fact that it is perception. It is the way your brain works. People are neurodiverse. They do perceive things in different ways. There is no right or wrong answer. And especially like some people were saying with the cat, well, you could look at the shape of the head, or some people say the position of the tail. And if you know more about cats, that might inform your decision. If you know nothing about cats, you wouldn't have that information to have that decision. So this is like digital skills learning, really. There's no right answer. There's no one way of doing things. And it is very much about your experience, your perception, the way your brain works. And there's a range of different approaches we can have to getting an answer, to teaching digital skills. And we're going to share with you some of our ideas today, but we really welcome you to share your ideas and your expertise and your experience with us too, because there's a myriad of ways to achieve success in teaching digital skills, depending on who you are and how you see things. So with no further ado, I'm going to hand over to Matthew, who's going to talk through the actual learning offer that we have at Good Things Foundation. So we're going to look at the learning platforms we have of Learn My Way and Make It Click.
Yes.
So I'm going to just make you the host so you can share your screen.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Yeah, so as Laura mentioned, I'm going to talk through all our different platforms. So the main two are Learn My Way and Make It Click, but we also have a remote support page, which is on the Online Centres Network website. So I'll just share my screen for a moment so that I can take you through our first platform, which is Learn My Way. So I'm sharing first screen here. Oh. Can everyone see my screen?
No, we can't at the minute.
No.
That's not good. Share screen. Right, it's saying I just need to allow Zoom, which I can do. There will be 2 seconds. I just need to allow access here. All right, it's saying I need to come out of Zoom and go back in. Oh no. Right. Can everyone see my screen?
That's it, we can see it now.
Brilliant. Sorry about that, everyone. Don't know what happened there. Yeah, so just a question first of all. How many people use Learn My Way? Have you heard of it? Do you know what it is? Do you need me to run through the basics? No, so you've all brilliant. So what I'll show you first of all is, so this is the home page. From here you can see all the different learning that we've got available. You can also choose where to start, which takes you down different learning pathways. We've also got the Help Someone Else page. So I'll just click through onto that now. So this is where you can help someone else essentially. So there's resources on here that'll help you help someone else. And you can access them just by clicking. So for example, if I just click on the Skype page, eventually you will see a PDF of the checklist for Skype. Not having much luck today, it's not loading at all. There you go. So here we've got, how to sort of set up Skype and references to different Learn My Way courses. So that's the helping someone else section. Obviously, we've got sign in and register, where you can register using your centre number. I'll click through onto that as well. So it's simple sign up. Just need your full name, password. You don't have to enter a centre number, but you can if you're the person that's helping them to register. It's all free as well, which you will know. So I'm just going to sign in using my credentials. So when you sign in, you're presented with, if you're a tutor, you're presented with the tutor page. If you're a learner, you're presented with the subject page, which is where all our online courses are. So I'll start off by showing you a course. This might be a bit of sucking eggs for some people, I guess, but for others, bear with me. So each course has a subject, and then within that subject, you have your different topics. So for example, I'll click through Getting Around Online. So within each topic, we have different components. So for example, here we've got a text and graphic component. We have different activities. So this is where you can really practice and demonstrate the learning. So for example, here I am entering a URL. So we've really got loads of different types of learning here. So different practical elements as well as theory. We've got narrative, so things that follow a story that you can kind of click next through. And we've got questions as well to sort of test your knowledge, and it gives you a benchmark for whether they've grasped the learning that's taken place. So the next thing I'm going to show you is where the session plans are. So I don't know if Laura's going to just check the chat panel, but just want to know if you've all got Tutor Access and if you all use the session plans really. So if you can pop that in the chat panel, I'll quickly show you where these session plans are. So they're all under the tutor section. You click on the session plan link, and we've got a session plan for every topic that we provide. So you click on that. For example, if we look at using the internet, click on that topic and you get the session plan, which is the first thing, and you also get the handout or the practice activity that goes with that. So if I just click on the session plan, hopefully that'll load a bit quicker. Yes, good one. So yes, within the session plan, you've got an overview of the session aims, what you want to achieve with that session, basically. You can use the session plans in different ways. So you can use them to maybe run a full hour session, or you can just use the activities and sort of dip into them as and when. So yeah, we have different discussion points in here. We have activities for your learners to do. We talk about how to close a session, how to open a session, that sort of thing. And it just gives you a bit of a flavour for how you can deliver a session, and it gives you different questions as well. So those are the so brilliant. Yeah, we're getting through that people are using these sessions and they have Tutor Access, which is brilliant. Oh, Vanessa mentions that she's not used session plans before. So we could talk about Tutor Access for Vanessa. Laura's popped that in the chat panel as well. So if you don't have Tutor Access, you can speak to your centre manager and they can grant it to you, and the email address is below as well in the chat panel. So what else? So that's kind of it then. So we've got the session plans. I'll just go into an activity sheet so you can see what one of those looks like. So we have different activities. We've tried to be as creative as possible with this, get people's thought processes going, that sort of thing. And we're trying to relate them to like real world experiences as well. So for example, here, using the internet, you're actually using the internet, you know, you're searching for things, you're looking up relatable things. So this is in relation to money and tax. So yeah, you can download those as well and use those as and when. And I think that's kind of it for Learn My Way. You can use the session plans as sort of a blended learning approach as well, so you can swap and change things, as I mentioned before. And yeah, does anyone have any questions about Learn My Way before I move on to our next platform, Make It Click?
So I can't see anything in the chat panel right now. It's maybe just worth mentioning that there are also printable certificates for Learn My Way, aren't they? Which a lot of learners really appreciate, the certificates you can print off for completing courses as well.
Yes.
How do we know which element relates to the qualifications from Lisa? We're going to come to that, and I'll share all the mapping documents with you a little bit later in the session. So we'll be addressing that. So I'll just leave that one for now. Your network coordinator, Jane, will be someone in the network team. So if you don't know who that is, I'd just drop an email to the Hello at Good Things Foundation and ask who it is, and they will get back to you.
Yeah. So you can download and print your certificates or the learner certificates at in the tutor section under the completed subjects. And the two buttons are there, so you can download or print, and people can add those to their CV, portfolio, that sort of thing. Have we got any other questions?
So Vanessa's asking about resources in other languages, which is something we do get asked quite often. We don't have the resources in other languages at the moment. We do have a screen reader to help with ESOL learners so they can hear it being read out to them. But I'm afraid we don't have it in other languages at the moment.
No, we don't. But obviously the videos and things that we've got, they've all got transcripts which can then be translated. You can use Google Translate to translate the page, that sort of thing. But yeah, we are looking to make it a bit more, translatable. There's also the learner management page, which I've not really shown you. How many of you use the learner management page to do your reports and things like that? Me, brilliant, Lisa. Yeah, right. So you know how to use it. Brill. Yeah. So yeah, you've got the learner management section where you can find all your stats, search for new learners, etc. I'll not go through that one. So yeah. So Make It Click then. Who knows about Make It Click, and who's used Make It Click? Oh, actually, we've got our discussion section, haven't we, Laura? Do we want to post a couple of questions?
Shall we just look at Make It Click and then we'll come to our discussion questions?
Yeah, no worries.
So a few people are saying they use Make It Click on the chat panel. I think Make It Click is probably a little bit less familiar to most of you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see quite a few people are using it.
I just need to get to Make It Click.
Well, Matthew's just loading that up. I think it's probably worth saying you only need one log-on for Make It Click and Learn My Way. So you don't need a separate account for Make It Click. Your log-on for Learn My Way will work with Make It Click.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so Make It Click is, it covers the EDS standards at level 1. So Learn My Way is sort of basic foundation level skills, whereas Make It Click is a bit more advanced. So Make It Click is free resources that we've sort of created with other companies such as Google, LinkedIn, and trusted sources that we've pulled together and we've put into different subjects to help you improve digital skills. So if we look at the home page, then you can see that you can just get started learning now. You can look at what you want to learn, so you can choose a subject, or you can search for a resource as well in related to what you cover. We've recently put a new subject in about helping people work from home, so using Zoom, that sort of thing. So we've linked to that there. And we've also come up with playlists. So if someone's looking to apply for a job, for example, we've added in all the resources that we think you need to apply for a job. So these are the different playlists that we've got available at the minute. We may add to that as we progress the website. You can also find your nearest online centre and get free support on the page, learn more about digital skills, that sort of thing. So if I look at the subjects now, we cover things such as how to build a business, how to monitor calendars using Google Drive, email, document programs, looking for different careers, how to update your CV, that sort of thing. So it's the more advanced different subjects than Learn My Way. We look at online security, photos, spreadsheets, and of course we've got the work from home section. So does anyone have any questions about Make It Click? It is, you can't do your reporting and things, but it's a lot simpler to use. So we've got Anne saying that, yeah, Make It Click is very useful, which is good. So that you can drill down on your learners' progress in the stats. Yes, that's correct, Lisa. Anyone else use Make It Click? Have you got any other questions about Make It Click? I can show you how the sign-in works as well. Should just pull through from, okay. Might not pull through. I might have set this up wrong. Should pull through. Never mind. That doesn't work.
All the best laid plans here. We'll go back to our discussion questions in our slides. I'll just share those again.
Yeah, so I will stop sharing my screen now. I hope that was useful. It was a bit of a whistle-stop tour there, but I do cover the platforms in more depth in the next session, so just a bit of a quick demo.
So we have got a full product demonstration on the 22nd of June. So if you'd like to see more of the Learn My Way and Make It Click websites, we will be going through them in a lot more detail on the 22nd of June in a webinar if you're less familiar with them. Oops. So can you describe to us any examples of where you've used Learn My Way to support a learner, or what other learning resources that you have used to support digital skills as well? So we've obviously got the chat panel, but if anyone would like to just talk to us about any other resources they use, what else have you found useful? I can see a few people are typing, so we'll give a second for that to come in. We could really just have the same questions for Make It Click as well. What other resources have you used at level 1 apart from Make It Click to support digital skills learning? Are there any particular courses or resources that you've found have been very useful with learners? So universal credit to make a claim. That's obviously a very practical application one. The use of Google Jamboards. So that's outside of Learn My Way, Make It Click. So Jamboards to capture ideas, comments and answers. Yeah, I used Slido the other day to capture some comments and answers in a webinar as well. So that's another way you could do that. As a Jamboard, we use a lot of good things as well.
Yeah. So
online safety we've got coming through from Saeed there. Obviously really fundamental to a lot of our learners to feel safe and secure online. So job seekers at entry level 2. So for job seekers, we have the job hunting, the interview skills and techniques, and we have things like the links to the National Careers Service and guides to that as well. So there's a few different elements about job seeking on Learn My Way. And then Make It Click has resources to support things like video interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
Make It Click has lots of helpful videos for video conferencing. We use Learn My Way in an interactive way using the activities. So blended learning is something that we really advocate for at Good Things Foundation. So using the digital sort of courses, but with blended learning, discussion. And I think a lot of our centres have pivoted well to doing that remotely as well as face-to-face. Online shopping is obviously something that people apply in real life a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carolyn's suggesting a different resource, the Digital Eagles, the BBC. Oh, and Ishrat is also coming in with Digital Eagles, so that's obviously a resource other people have used as well. Any other resources that people use to complement Learn My Way, Make It Click? Digital Unite resources. I think Digital Unite do have a lot of practical application practice ones, sort of applying it to the real world. That's through Barclays. Oh, so Elisa's talking about the fact that the activities are a bit harder on tablets for Learn My Way. So we do, Learn My Way is mobile first, so it should work okay. The advice I'd give if it's not working brilliantly on tablets is to use a different web browser, maybe Firefox rather than Chrome, and things like that often work a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a few other ideas of complementary resources to use in that blended way with Learn My Way as well, complementing it. Matthew, do you want to just talk about the remote delivery resources for a second?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, we have the remote delivery resources page. We will share the link with you at the end of the session. And this is a page that's been developed in collaboration with centres. And we spoke to them to sort of build and collect their advice, tips, resources, and put everything on this one page. So we've got resources on there such as how to launch a remote learning programme, virtual coffee mornings and cooking clubs. So it's just different ideas and guides that can sort of facilitate discussions remotely. We've got the checklists on there as well that we've created, which are also on the Help Someone Else page for Learn My Way. And we've got guides that help you transfer from face-to-face to remote delivery. So it is really worth a look. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, just let us know.
Yeah, so that's very much built on the best practice of some of our centres that pivoted well to deliver remotely in the sort of initial stages of the first lockdown. So there's a lot of sort of lived experience on there to support people as well. And we always welcome more feedback from you on those things.
Yeah.
Oops, I accidentally clicked on that screen then, and it's actually a link. So that when you get these slides, that is actually a link to that remote delivery page. Okay, so when you're thinking about the digital skills qualifications, initial assessment of the learner is one of the criteria that the qualifications ask you to do. So when you're working with learners for the first time, how do you identify their current skills? What are you doing at the moment to decide? Are they entry level? Are they level 1? Have you developed in-house assessments? Do you use any assessments from other companies? Is it an in-depth face-to-face chat with people, or are you just not using any assessments at the moment? So in-house assessment, says Geraldine.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to say any more about that. Is it kind of an exam style thing, a survey? So Lisa's saying we get them to fill out an online survey and we judge their skills from it. So it's using your sort of professional judgment on how they do that, as well as maybe the score they get. The learning machine initial assessment tool is being mentioned in the chat panel there. So TLM, the learning machine, and that's something that we have shared from Good Things Foundation before. It is a really good tool in terms of it's quite what I would call a formal exam style assessment online. And it produces quite a detailed breakdown of someone's performance in terms of where they are on 5 different strands of the essential digital skills standards, and an overall look at their skills as well. So it's quite official. It could be quite intimidating for some learners, but it is very effective. It is free. You have to register with the learning machine to access it, but it is free to use after that, and there's no commitment to any of their courses or products after that. So I'm seeing in the chat panel quite a few people are using that. So Susan saying we interview and have a casework approach, and that detailed in-depth face-to-face is, that qualitative approach is something that a lot of our centres really value, and it is what people are about, that individual support. We ask about what they want to learn online. Yeah. And CVO's Essential Digital Skills Toolkit. Multiple choice questions. So there's clearly quite a few different things that people use to assess where somebody is. Nobody has mentioned our planner tool there, so I'm not sure if you are particularly aware of our planner tool. So at Good Things Foundation, we've developed a digital tool as part of Learn My Way that helps to support entry-level learners to know where to start on Learn My Way. It's not what you would call a formal initial assessment, because it doesn't assess every aspect of the essential digital skills standards, and it's very much a self-report tool, but it aims to gauge a learner's confidence and competence in relation to their essential digital skills. It's multiple choice questions, and it produces a list of suggested courses as a starting point for somebody's digital education. So a few screenshots next to it. It starts by asking the person what is their main reason for wanting to learn about the internet and computers, which I think somebody on the chat panel said was one of their questions. What do you want to do? So we're looking at sort of getting a hook for somebody, really, getting what are they interested in, why are they here? So there's some of the options are pictured on screen there. That's not the full list of options they could pick. So after they've selected one of those, a tailored list of their multiple choice questions is presented to them depending on which one they choose. So you can see here an example one is, I can report inappropriate behaviour or activity. And that's one of the safety criteria. And these statements are all developed from the Essential Digital Skills Standards. For each question, they're then faced with these same 5 multiple choice options that they can pick. So the bottom one, I've got no interest in this, means that the courses that we've mapped to that standard would disappear out of their list. The top 2 ones are about their sort of motivation and their feelings to how confident they are with it at the moment. So they want to practice it, or they're really confident at it. If they said they're confident, again, it's not something we'd suggest to them at the end. And then the middle 2, how important it is to learn them, what's their priority order of learning. So there's about 10 questions that they would go through to do this. So it's quite a short thing to do. And then they're presented with a list like this of the Learn My Way courses that we think would get them started on their digital journey. They're then links that they can just start them. There'd be a maximum of 5 in this list, because we think anything else might be a bit too overwhelming. And it could be as low as 1 in the list, depending on how they've answered the questions. So in the chat panel, has anybody used the planner or have any comments on the planner? So Carolyn saying we use it. At the moment, a person can only use the planner once, and they do have to have your centre number associated with their Learn My Way account in order to access it. So hopefully, if you haven't already used it, as Lisa says, then you're now aware of that and can use that. The link to it will be shared at the end on these slides as well. As I say, it is embedded in part of Learn My Way. So it was introduced on another webinar, we've not used it yet. So we think it's not a true initial assessment, but quite a short way to get people introduced to Learn My Way and know where to start on it. Sort of stops people from starting at the top and working down, maybe getting to what they actually want to do a little bit faster. So possibly after lockdown, Susan's saying it might be something that they start using later then.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the main aims of our session today was to think about how we can use Good Things Foundation resources specifically to support essential digital skills learning and the qualifications. We know many of you might not be delivering the qualifications yourself, but preparing learners to take that qualification, or just valuing the essential digital skills that people can learn for their own use in life. So I'm not expecting you to read what's on the screen now because it's an awful lot that's on the screen there. But this is a part of a mapping document I'm going to share with you after the session. So this is the essential digital skills listed down the left-hand side and where we have them on Learn My Way listed down the other columns. So we go right from the foundation skills to all the entry-level essential digital skills. And for each one, we're showing every topic on Learn My Way where that skill can be practiced and is featured, and we have the links to it right in the right hand side as well. So if you were thinking, right, I want to teach Foundation 1 today, you'd be able to open this mapping document and say, okay, this is all the areas where I can use Learn My Way to teach that, and maybe pick the one that fits in well with your session theme. So here is a screenshot of one of the assessment questions from the awarding body Gateway for the entry-level essential digital skills qualification. So this is one of their mock exam or practice questions that you can access on their website. As you can see, this one is about buying a ticket. So it's asking them to pretend to simulate the act of buying a train ticket by filling in the document. So the essential digital skill that maps to is in the transacting area, skill 11, completing and submitting a form. So if you were supporting a learner to practice for that skill, you could look at the mapping document we have and see that transacting is featured in quite a lot of our Learn My Way topics, but probably the most obvious one is using online forms. So knowing that, you could then go to the Learn My Way section on that, and you can see that in the online forms, we've got a session plan, as Matthew showed you earlier. We've got the handout document as well, and we've got practical practice activities within that course so they can simulate that and practice it before they go to the actual formal assessment itself. Another quick example of that is another one from Gateway here where they're buying the ticket and they fill in the information from the credit card, and that would map to transacting skill 12 or buying an item online. Again, the mapping document would show you exactly where in Learn My Way you can find practice activities and support materials to tutor and practice that. So you've got managing your money and online shopping. So in that course, you can see it's the paying and delivering, the topic 3, that will particularly be effective at practicing that skill. And within that course, we have scrollable information for them to read and think about that activity. We have quiz questions for them to boost their confidence in knowing and demonstrating that they do know that knowledge. And we have practice activities where they can simulate and practice it before they go to the actual assessment. Again, I'm not expecting you to read what's on the screen, but just so you can recognise the document and what it looks like, we've got the same kind of mapping document that I'll share with you for Make It Click. So whereas Learn My Way is more entry-level skills with some level 1, Make It Click's much more focused on the level 1 essential digital skills. So that's slightly higher level. So in this mapping document, we have all the level 1 skills listed down the left-hand side. The middle column shows where you could prepare for that, more entry level on Learn My Way. And the right-hand column are the suggested resources we have to support that on Make It Click. As Matthew said, Make It Click is curated by us rather than written by us. So it's a collection of very different resources. Some of them blogs, some of them are videos, some of the handouts, templates. So you'd have to sort of look at those and see if they fit in with your session well beforehand. If we go back to the Gateway examples there, here's one of their tasks that they ask for level 1. It's creating an advert. So they give some stimulus material in Say for Internet Day, and then if you sort of glance down, there's quite a few of the creating and editing skills from the essential digital skills standards people would need. So it asks them to copy and paste text, it asks them to put border in, asks them to insert a table, and it asks them to organise and format that information. So this very much maps to skill 6 on creating and editing, where they're asked to pick an application to edit, format, layout, insert tables, etc. So on the Make It Click mapping document, we can see for skill 6, my screen is slightly obscured there. For skill 6, we've got the office programs that you would need to prepare for that in the Learn My Way section. We've also got things about Google Forms, Sheets, Excel suggested for Make It Click. So if you looked at the Google Sheets one for Make It Click, we've got a resource there. As suggested in the mapping, but you can also use the search feature to see what else you might find applicable. So here we've put documents in the search, and you can see that some Learn My Way proprietary courses are suggested. So how to create documents, introduction to office courses. Then you've got online things that we've created together, such as the ultimate guide to Google Docs and how online offices work. So back to you in the chat panel. What other resources and activities have you used to help people prepare for the qualifications, or to help people just prepare for having and applying these skills in their life? So Vanessa's just commenting that the mapping documents will be quite useful. And as I say, those will be shared with you on an email after this session, along with the recording and the slides and all the other links. So I'm interested to hear what other things people have used to prepare people to apply these digital skills. The example assessment questions I've used on the screens there are the ones from Gateway, but there are at the moment 7 other awarding bodies that are cleared to deliver the essential digital skills qualifications. We're expecting that number to go up by September as more awarding bodies are applying to do it. And most of them do have accessible practice and mock exam questions on their websites that you can have a look at to help prepare people. So that is something that I would do in preparation. So Geraldine's talking about the fact that these courses run in tandem with wellbeing sessions, and that confidence and those other skills that people have to access these qualifications are really important, aren't they? So Sandra's saying moving on from entry to level 1 in September, so this will be useful for her and the team. So I know people have already mentioned a few other resource things like Digital Unite, etc. earlier on. Anything else that's springing to mind that people use to prepare people, or simulation activities that they might do?
Do you do any sort of revision material or checklists or something like that to help people prepare?
So bespoke in-house ones as well that people have developed themselves. Again, some of those are on our remote delivery website. From some other centres have shared their bespoke ones. So there's other resources you might pick up from on that website as well, which is part of our online centres network website, but we will share the link with that later. A back to employment course, so writing CV and job applications and doing mock interviews. Yeah, practice interviews, really good, preparing people. So again, Vanessa's saying about creating their own resources as well. Yeah. So going on Learn My Way and doing one-to-one sessions.
Yeah.
So in today's session, we wanted to run through showing you what good things resources we have, how we can map those to the essential digital skills qualifications. We wanted to discuss your best practice ideas, and you've shared some good tips on resources with us there. And we wanted to you to consider how you could use our resources to prepare for the learning, and particularly the qualifications. So if you have any other questions or discussion points you'd like to bring up, please do. But I'd also be interested in asking how many of you are planning to deliver the Essential Digital Skills qualifications in your centres? Is anyone going to be delivering the qualification? And if so, which awarding body? So Geraldine is, which awarding body have you gone with? So the Learning Machine, the Learning Machine's coming up for a few people there. OCN, yep. So the Learning Machine and OCN have both worked with Good Things Foundation in this webinar series, and OCN in developing their assessments. So I know that they're very practical and simulating real life activities. So Carolyn, we won't be delivering the award, and TLM seems to be coming up as a popular one for the awarding body there, the Learning Machine. So I think a lot of people will be like Carolyn and not delivering the award themselves, but maybe they will be preparing people to go and take the award somewhere else. So hopefully this would still be relevant in preparing people to go on other places. So Lisa's saying they're doing it in partnership with the Learning Service, who will be accredited by the British School of Computing.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting, I think everyone can see the chat panel. There's another link there on Enhance ET Foundation. I'll have a look at that myself. So quite a few people are delivering it actually directly or referring people on to deliver the Essential Digital Skills qualifications. Has anybody actually got any learners through it already? So Sandra, that's interesting. You've been doing a pilot in running the course. So from September, so your learners have completed the 3 assessments. Brilliant. So people are already doing this. And I don't know if you want to share any experience of what you have found challenging or things that you have found have led to success in getting people through these qualifications. Or just any experience of how it's been. So running pilots at the moment, discussing outcomes, because it is quite new and it's been held up a lot by the pandemic of getting going on this. So a lot of people are starting now rather than possibly when they originally proposed they might be starting.
Yeah, it'd be good to find out what the outcomes are, Lisa. If you can, send us an email with those outcomes, that'd be brilliant.
But it is encouraging to see so many centres are planning to deliver the qualification.
Vanessa's asked if we can discuss, if people are willing to discuss their experiences, so you can all learn from each other, really.
So I think that the investment of time is being brought up in the chat panel of getting people through it. So it's not a quick process to tutor people to the level of taking the assessments, I imagine. So the qualifications are officially about 50 guided learning hours, and I wonder if people think that's realistic or it's taking you longer. So thanks, Lisa. You'll let us know how we've weaved it in. So Sandra's saying she's heard that they're challenging. Is that reflected in other people's experience that the assessments are quite challenging? I think for a lot of learners, it will be the first sort of exam and assessment they've done in a long time, if ever. And preparing people in sort of the confidence to do that is a big part of the work that you do. We're very aware of that. And I think when some of the awarding bodies decided to take on this, I think we found it good things that they weren't very aware of the audience and actually they reached out to us a lot in our expertise about the kind of audience for entry-level digital skills and how diverse that audience is. I mean, I don't know if some of you work with particular cohorts of people, but apparently the average age for taking that assessment is 45. So that's a bit older than I think the qualification boards anticipated it would be. So there's a lot of working age people who are reskilling in digital skills, which is something we anticipate might grow in number over the next year or so. So community learning courses, we need to build skills before the learner takes the exam. So Sandra's saying that as well. So Lee's saying, we've got the end assessment portfolio. They found that the portfolio worked well. %90 of learners over 50. Timescale is challenging. So I'm assuming from that, I don't know if you want to expand on that, that it's taken a bit longer than maybe anticipated. A strong number of ESOL learners as well. In terms of ESOL learners, Learn My Way is written at a reading age of about 11 years old. So we try to make it as accessible to ESOL as possible. I mean, we've sort of brought up that we haven't got the translation at the moment. We have got the screen reader and it's very plain English. So we try to make it as accessible as possible in those ways to ESOL. Okay. Some really interesting things there, and it's interesting to see so many of you are piloting or are already running the courses. As you may be aware, this webinar is part of the Essential Digital Skills series that we're running at Good Things Foundation. So we have had quite a few already in terms of things like how to access adult education budget. And we've had presentations from a couple of different awarding bodies on how to become delivery partners with them. We also have some more sessions coming up over the next few weeks in this series. The next one is about quality assurance and delivering a quality learning experience, where we have an expert guest speaker coming to talk about that. We have one planned for June about working in partnership with other centres to deliver the essential digital skills. So it might be preparing somebody to go and take the actual qualification elsewhere if you're not doing it at your centre. And also accessing CPD for your staff as well. On the 16th of June, again, we've got a guest speaker coming in to talk about the resources available to you in terms of upskilling staff to deliver the essential digital skills, and that's paid staff as well as volunteers for your centre. So if you'd like to register any of those, please do. Also, if you'd like to look at the recordings of the ones that we've already had, they are on our YouTube channel. I'll just share those links in the chat panel now to the registration and the existing ones that are already on the YouTube channel. So thank you for joining us today, and we've got a couple of minutes left. If people would like to ask any other questions, make any other comments, I'll stop sharing my screen, and if anybody actually does want to unmute and make any points, you are more than welcome to do that. If you are very busy and have to rush off, then thank you for your time, and please do feel free to leave if you are, because I know people are extremely busy at the moment.
I'll just pop some links in. So I'll pop the remote support webpage link in there into the chat panel, and I'll pop the planner URL as well. But yeah, thank you everyone.
Can I just say, in the past year, because we've had to get used to Google Classrooms and working online, and that's been really challenging, trying to teach IT to people who haven't got IT skills when you're not in the classroom. So that's all. So I must admit, I've kind of part Learn My Way for the past year. I found this really helpful, though. I will definitely be getting my learners to be logging on and using some of those plans and things. That was really helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, that's great. I mean, some of the session plans were originally written with the idea of it being face-to-face learning in classrooms and groups. So some of the things might not be relevant to remote delivery, but a lot of the ideas in there, like the starter questions, the discussion, they can be adapted to remote support as well.
Yeah, well, we've started to go back. We're doing kind of hybrid now, so we're half in the classroom and half online, which is really good because the stuff that you really need to be kind of over somebody's shoulder, showing them what to do, we can do that in the classroom. So that
Yeah.
it's so like logging on and stuff like that, all of the initial stuff. So we'll do that in the classroom. So yeah, very interesting. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you
Very
for
welcome.
coming along. But I do think that with finding a lot of our centres are saying that the remote support blended with the face-to-face is a way that they will continue, and maybe they can access more people that way. And I don't think the remote's going to go away just because we're back face-to-face, really. So we are getting better at it, aren't we, in our centres, and learning more how to facilitate that.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, especially with the entry-level learners. It does take a lot of time. Are the foundation courses accredited too, are being asked there. The foundation skills, I don't think are part of the essential digital skill funding. And I don't think they're not officially accredited in sort of the essential digital skills qualifications, but some awarding bodies such as Gateway offer other smaller accredited learning around what you might call more the soft skills and the foundation. So they have proprietary certificated courses that you can do before you do the essential digital skill qualification. So there is things there to do that. But unfortunately, it's not part of the entitlement funding. Oh, so talking about Eamon's talking there about the Make It Click newsletters being useful to share with staff and volunteers. Thank you. Yeah, great. Good feedback. Thanks. So I hope people have found the session useful, and all the documents will be shared with you later, such as mapping documents, which will take a bit more time to have a look at. I would also say that Make It Click is a constantly evolving thing. We are adding resources as we find them. We do have them to a certain standard. We make sure that they're accessible, we make sure they're free, we make sure they're advert free, we make sure they're not having sources of bias in them. There are marks of quality really for Make It Click. So the mapping document for Make It Click will constantly evolve as we add more resources to it. Okay, I can't see any more questions coming in, so I'll say thank you very much for attending and have a lovely afternoon.